Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha. Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam. साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पदान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुस्तुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निते नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय हरे कृष्णा थैंक यू फॉर बीइंग हियर to hear and chant about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is session 18 for ongoing discussion on the Antilila as described by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. In our previous discussions, we spoke about as to how Sanatan Goswami is going to meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And as Sanatan Goswami is going to meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has sore and pus all over his body, and he doesn't want to go the normal route. He wants to go the other way. And his feet has blisters, is completely burned. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu still loves him. Mahaprabhu still accepts him. Sanatan Goswami wanted to commit suicide. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not like that proposal. Mahaprabhu condemned it. And then, long story short, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu convinces him. But after that, there's one junior who tries to instruct to a senior, that is Jagadananda Pandit, or Jagga, tries to instruct to Sanatan Goswami. Sanatan Goswami is senior in Bhakti, while Jagadananda Pandit is junior. But nonetheless, Sanatan Goswami still takes the advice. But when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gets to know, Mahaprabhu gets very angry. Mahaprabhu says, Arey, this is Jagga. He just joined yesterday. He joined our movement yesterday, and he has the audacity to instruct someone who's senior in Bhakti. So Mahaprabhu did not like it very much. And then this point is brought time and again that if someone is surrendered to the Supreme Lord, then that body belongs to the Lord. It is the Lord's property. So that's where we were. And we also saw as to how Haridas Thakur explains that how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced even Vasudev, who had leprosy. When the whole world maintains their distance, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes ahead, accepts, and embraces them. So that's where we finished. Let's continue. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, the body of a devotee is never material, but is spiritual. At the time of initiation, when a devotee surrenders unto Krishna's service, Krishna accepts him as good as himself. Then the devotee renders service to him in that transcendental body. Sanatan is one of the associates of Krishna. There could not be any bad odor from his body. When I first embraced him, I smelled the aroma of Chatusama, a mixture of sandalwood pulp, camphor, saffron, and musk. So when the externally, when for most people the body has a bad odor, for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the body of Sanatan Goswami is as fragrant as camphor and musk and saffron and sandalwood pulp all mixed together. Because where there is surrender, there is bhakti, and it is the fragrance of bhakti that is inspiring Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to embrace Sanatan Goswami. Dear Sanatan, don't be unhappy. Stay with me at Jagannath Puri for 1 year. Then I shall send you to Vrindavan. So it's a clear-cut instruction of um, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Let's stay in Jagannath Puri, then I shall send you to Vrindavan. The one disciple of Prabhupada was recently saying in one of the memories that he had always heard about Sri Vrindavan Dham. So he had read about Vrindavan Dham, heard about Vrindavan Dham. So he wanted to go to Vrindavan Dham. So he went to Srila Prabhupada and then he asked Srila Prabhupada, um, that, Srila Prabhupada, can I go to Vrindavan? This was Yamuna Mataji. You ever heard Yamuna Mataji? Govindam Adi Purusham. So Yamuna Mataji went to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, I've heard about Vrindavan, and in your purports I read about the glory of Sri Vrindavan Dham. So can I go to Vrindavan? And Prabhupada said yes. And then immediately Prabhupada said, no, wait for the time when I will take you. I will take you by foot in Sri Vrindavan Dham. So Yamuna Mataji said, okay. And what can be more better than your Gurudev taking you across the land of Sri Vrindavan Dham? So this was 1967. And in 1970, when Srila Prabhupada came to India for the first time with all his American disciples, at that time we see Srila Prabhupada took so many of his disciples to Sri Vrindavan Dham, and Yamuna Mataji was also there. So this this eagerness, this thirst of going to Sri Vrindavan Dham, as it was seen by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had it. Sanatan Goswami here also is demonstrating the same mood of going to Vrindavan. Mahaprabhu says, no, wait, I will instruct you when to go. Similarly, Yamuna Mataji wanted to go to Vrindavan. Prabhupada says, wait, I will tell you when to go. I will take you to Vrindavan. And Prabhupada, he did it. 1972, when Prabhupada came with many of his disciples to Sri Vrindavan Dham, it was Kartik of 1972. Prabhupada served classes on Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu in Radha Damodar Mandir courtyard. In Vrindavan, we have Radha Damodar Mandir of Srila Jeev Goswami, the temple where Prabhupada stayed and wrote many of his scriptures prior to coming here to the US. Srila Prabhupada sitting on the courtyard of Radha Damodar Mandir, he gave classes on Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion, with all his American disciples. And those classes are still there on ISKCON Desiree. If you go to the audio section of ISKCON Desiree, you go to 1972, Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion, you'll find about 14, 15 classes will be there. And all of them are given on the courtyard of Radha Damodar Mandir. So here we find Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very lovingly instructing um, Sri Sanatan Goswami to stay in Jagannath Puri for a year and then go to Shivindavan Dham. Then Lord Chaitanya again embraced Sanatan, and immediately all his sores disappeared and his body resembled the color of gold. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not just saying once, Mahaprabhu repeatedly is embracing Sripad Sanatan Goswami, and not just embracing, he's convinced that Sanatan Goswami's body is as fragrant as sandalwood and musk and saffron and whatnot. And now, when Mahaprabhu embraces, Sanatan Goswami's body is back to normal. He did that, the Supreme Lord did that for Kubja. He did that for Vasudeva also, Vasudeva Vipra, who had leprosy. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes and embraces him. In fact, in Vasudeva Vipra's case, it is interesting that when Mahaprabhu had gone to South India, Mahaprabhu was in the house of Kurma Brahman. And when Mahaprabhu was in the house of Kurma Brahman, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or Vasudeva Vipra gets to know Mahaprabhu is there. So he walks all the way to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And by the time Vasudeva Vipra reaches the house of Kurma Brahman, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has already left. So Vasudeva Vipra was broken hearted that for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu I walked all this while and Mahaprabhu has left. And there is no means of contacting, there's no phone or WhatsApp message, or you cannot tell Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, थोड़ी देर रुक जाइए हम on the way hai. You can't say anything like that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left, but Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also Paramatma. The Supreme Lord is also Paramatma. He knows. So he had gone halfway, but when he got to know that his devotee Vasudeva has walked all the way to meet him, Mahaprabhu took a U-turn and again walked back, only to meet Vasudeva. And now when Mahaprabhu embraced Vasudeva Vipra, he whose body was not the best because of leprosy, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced him, he got a very young, powerful, youthful body without any ailments, without any disease. So it's not the first time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has done this. It's not the first time Ramachandra has done it. Krishna has also done it. The Supreme Lord, in every yuga, he has this one trademark. किसी एक व्यक्ति को पकड़ना है और उनको आलिंगन करना है या उनको उनका जो शरीर है जो बाहरी दृष्टिकोण में स्वस्थ नहीं है भगवान जाकर आलिंगन करते हैं या बस केवल छू लेते हैं और व्यक्ति का जो शरीर है वो एकदम टनाटन एकदम सही हो जाता है. So in every pastime he does that. In Ramachandra he does that. In as Krishna Chandra he does that. As Gaurachandra he does that. But in Vasudeva Vipra's case, Vasudeva Vipra was so humble. He tells Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, "What did he do? Give me my old body." Mahaprabhu says, "Why? You have such a nice young body." Vasudeva Vipra says, "My dear Lord, with this young body, I have the fear I will be proud." मुझे डर है कि मैं घमंडी बन जाऊंगा. पहले जो शरीर था उसमें घमंड तो नहीं था. At least I didn't have pride. Now with this young body, youthful body, I feel I will become proud. Give me the old body. So in a generation that we live, people yearn for a young body, facelift, mm, and so many cosmetic surgeries and creams and wrinkles and wrinkle-free creams and so many things come up. Why? Only so that you should look young. जवान दिखने के लिए कितना कुछ है. I remember when last year I was going to a program in the Middle East in Dubai. So we were going through one of the streets, and the devotee who was driving us, he was telling me that Prabhuji, look to the other side. So I looked to the other side, and there were rows of buildings for like good 2 to 3 kilometers. There were rows of buildings. So I asked him, what's so fascinating about it? Just a building. He said, no. He said, Prabhuji, all these buildings are all cosmetic industries. They're all cosmetic buildings. One is maybe a facelift, one is maybe a wrinkle thing, one is something else, one is a plastic surgery, this, that, all cosmetic. So I was thinking to myself, there's so much demand for this. No one wants to be old, is forced to be old, and then tries to spend all the money possible just so that Jawan dikh raha hai. And here is Vasudev. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu makes him young for free, no charges. And he tells Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, no, no, I want to be in that old body because I feel I will be proud. And if I'm proud, I will be away from you. Because Mahaprabhu doesn't like those who are proud. He just repels Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then Lord Chaitanya embraced Sanatan and immediately all his sores disappeared and his body resembled the color of gold. Haridas Thakur was astonished and told the Lord, O Lord, this is your pastime. You made Sanatan drink the water of Jari Khanda and you generated the itching sores on his body. Then you examined him. No one can understand your pastimes. The Bengali devotees came for Rath Yatra as usual, and Lord Chaitanya introduced Sanatan Goswami to all of them. We see in the life of, we're talking about Sanatan Goswami's body and Vasudeva Vipra's body and Kubja's body, etc. Adi Shankaracharya, who's so celebrated, such a holy, worshipable personality. When Adi Shankaracharya was very small, At that time, he had a desire. He was just 8 years old, and he had a desire to take sannyas. So he told his mother that I want to take sannyas. The mother said, "No, you're very young. When you grow up, then we will see." Because no mother will say, "Okay, go and take sannyas." So she said, "No, no. Once you grow up, बाद में देख लेंगे." So Adi Shankaracharya, when at the age of 8, one time near his home, he was there in a near a lake, hmm, lake or a pond, lake to be precise. And as he was in the lake, taking his bath, a crocodile came out of nowhere and bit his leg. Just like a crocodile bit Gajendra, similarly a crocodile came and the jaws were so powerful that it held the lotus feet of Adi Shankaracharya, who was just 8, and was not ready to let go. So the boy was young, so he started calling out his mother. So mother being frantic and panicked, she came out. And what can a mother do when there's a crocodile in the river? What can a mother do? A crocodile is very, very powerful. The crocodile is so powerful that someone as powerful as Gajendra, an elephant, was not able to release himself. So what to speak of a human? आप और मैं यदि मगरमच्छ के निकट चले जाए और यदि मगरमच्छ ने पकड़ लिया तो फिर गौर प्रेमानंद है उसके बाद तो कोई कुछ नहीं कर सकता. How much ever person is powerful, a crocodile is way more powerful because now the crocodile is not just on land, it's powerful on land also, but now it's is ये तो घर का मामला है, पानी तो घर का मामला है. The crocodile is 10 times more powerful on water. So it held the feet of Adi Shankaracharya and was not ready to let go. The mother came and there was the last speech, so to say, between Adi Shankaracharya and his mother. And at that time, Adi Shankaracharya said, I am anyway going to die. The crocodile is not going to leave me. Anyway, I'm going to die. At least now give me the permission to take sannyas. So at least when I die, I will die as a sannyasi. At least do little for me. Anyway, हम मरने ही वाले हैं. तो आप इतना हमें आशीर्वाद दीजिए और इतना परमिशन दीजिए कि हम संन्यास ग्रहण करें. Now the mother said, "Okay, take sannyas. If that is your desire, take sannyas." And the moment the mother gave permission, Adi Shankaracharya, through his ability, through his mental meditation, accepted sannyas. At that spot, at a time when the crocodile had held the feet of Adi Shankaracharya, at that time when people say, "Mummy, mummy, daddy, daddy," Adi Shankaracharya accepts sannyas at that point. And the moment he accepted sannyas, the crocodile left him. The crocodile left him. And now Adi Shankaracharya came out. So the mother said, "Arey, arey, mera bachcha, no, come, please come." Adi Shankaracharya said, "Wait a minute. I'm now a sannyasi. I'm now a sannyasi. So all glories to you, mother, but I have to go. I'm a sannyasi." He never stayed in the house. And that's how Adi Shankaracharya, at the age of 8, through the bite of a crocodile, took that as the means for him to accept sannyas. And then Adi Shankaracharya goes on to write Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamate. So um, it's so fascinating that a devotee, even at a time when the crocodile is biting him, is ready to think about the Supreme Lord, is ready to think about sannyas, is ready to think about renunciation. So the moment he thought about Krishna, the moment he thought about the Supreme Lord, his body was perfectly fine. The crocodile left him. Similarly, Sanatan Goswami, all the while was simply thinking about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu embraced him, his body was perfectly fine. Vasudev walked all the way to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, had leprosy. Mahaprabhu embraced him, his body was perfectly fine. Kubja goes to the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord does some quick surgery, and her body is perfectly fine. So, however, our body is, and not just body, whatever situation we are in, whatever challenges we have, the Lord has the ability to improve and rectify the whole situation within one fraction of a second. Doesn't take much time for him. One embrace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one embrace of Krishna is enough for the Supreme Lord to bring a smile on the face of his devotee. So when we go to the temple also, We are not just going to see the Lord. We are going to the temple to be seen by the Lord. Because Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, one time when he was giving a class in the Gaudiya Math, so one of his disciples, they got up, class was going on, they got up, the temple opened, and he was looking at the deities. He got up, went near the altar, and was looking at the deities. And then Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur asked him, after he came back again and sat down, Saraswati Thakur asked him, how was the eye exercise? How was the eye exercise? You went to the altar and you saw, right? How was the eye exercise? He said, Guru Maharaj, I didn't follow. Srila Saraswati Thakur said, here I am giving you Krishna through the means of Bhagavatam, through the means of Chaitanya Charitamrita. I am giving you Krishna, I am giving you Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You're leaving this and going all by yourself to see the Lord. This is eye exercise. Srila Saraswati Thakur says Krishna is revealed through Shravanam, through hearing. When we hear about the Lord, that's when Krishna is revealed in the heart. Otherwise, Saraswati Thakur said, it is simply eye exercise. Because open, close, open, close, open, close, यही करते हैं. They say it's like an eye exercise. So we find here as to how all of these personalities have taught us the purpose of going to the temple is to be seen by the Lord. The Lord has to see us. Not that we go, yes, we go and we take darshan, but more importantly, is He has to see us because once He sees us, then all the anxieties we have, all the problems we have, all the challenges we have, all the health ailments we have, just by one glance, everything can be back to normal. If He, as Vishnu, can create everything by glance, Sa Aikshata, when Vishnu glances, that's when the material world gets created. There is Prakriti, there is Kala, and everything comes into perspective. By his glance, Bhagavatam says, Sa Aikshata, just by his glance. If by his glance he can create planets, by his glance can he not create our good fortune? Of course he can. अगर उनके केवल दृष्टिकोण से पूरा जगत भगवान बना सकते हैं, रचना कर सकते हैं पूरी जगत की. So with his glance, can he not create our good fortune? Of course, 100% he can. With his glance, can he not clear our bodily ailments? Of course he can. So we go to the temple, yes, to see the Lord, but more importantly, to be seen by the Lord. This is what Saraswati Thakur explained. We don't go for an eye exercise. More important than the eye exercise is to hear about the Supreme Lord, because that's where Krishna is established in the heart by Shravanam. शृण्वतां स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्य श्रवण कीर्तनम हृदयंतस्तु भद्राणि विदुनोति सुहृत्सताम. So many places this point is explained. शृण्वताम स्वकथाम कृष्ण, श्रवण करना है, कथा श्रवण करना है किनके बारे में? कृष्ण के बारे में, चैतन्य महाप्रभु के बारे में, मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम रामचंद्र के बारे में. Now we find Nrsimha Chaturdashi is coming, so we hear about Nrsimha Dev, so on and so forth. So every sense that we have, every sensory organ, जो भी इंद्रियां है, everything should be wholeheartedly to should be used for the service of the Lord as much as possible. वाणी गुणानुकथने श्रवणौ कथायां हस्तौ च कर्मसु मनस्तव पादयोर्न स्मृत्य शिरस्तव निवास जगत् प्रणामे दृष्टि सतां दर्शनेस्तु भवत्तनूनाम्. The 10th canto of the Bhagavatam explains Vani Gunanukathane. The Vani, the tongue should be used for what? वाणी गुणानुकथने, कथा बोलने के लिए वाणी को उपयोग किया जाना जाना चाहिए. The tongue should be used for katha, or the tongue should be used for kirtan, nam jap, basically to speak about the Lord. Katha doesn't necessarily mean we have to sit on the vyasas and only speak. Even if you're speaking to your brother, your sister, your parents, etc., that is also katha. Sharing about Krishna is katha. There is no special privilege that if someone is giving katha from a vyasasana and if someone is giving katha inside the home, ऐसा नहीं कि जो व्यासासन से दे रहे भगवान उनको ही कृपा प्रदान करेंगे और जो घर के अंदर बोल रहे भगवान उनको नहीं दिखेंगे. Krishna doesn't say that. Krishna says, anyone who preaches my message is very dear to me. So preaching that message can be to one person, can be to 10,000 people. Doesn't matter. If anyone takes the endeavor, Krishna is very happy. So Vani Gunanu Kathane, the tongue should be used for Kathane, to speak about the Lord. Vani Gunanu Kathane Shravano Kathayam, the ear should be used for hearing Katha. Hastau Chakarma Sumanastava Padayorna, the hand should be used for serving the Lord, making garland, etc. Manas, the mind should be used for Tavapada Yorna, should be used for remembering the Supreme Lord. Smritya Shirastava Nivasa Jagat Praname, and the head should be used for Jagat Praname, for obeisances. Hmm? The feet should be used for Parikrama. Drishti Satam Darshane Stu Bhavat Tanunam, and the eyes should be used for uh, seeing the Lord, to take darshan of the Lord and to be seen by the Lord. So every sense, the tongue, the ear, the hand, the mind, the head, the feet, the eyes, everything is used in the service of the Supreme Lord. So these are good verses to memorize, and these are good verses to also put into perspective, because we can remind ourselves that this is what the sense is meant to be. So here we find that Shankaracharya takes that instance to take sannyas, the bite of the crocodile. So even now that pond is there, it's called as Crocodile Lake. It is outside the childhood home of Sripad Adi Shankaracharya. So, so many points we see regarding the body as to how these personalities used that as the means to get the Lord. And here it is Sanatan Goswami. The Bengal devotees came for Rath Yatra as usual, and Lord Chaitanya introduced Sanatan Goswami to all of them. Sanatan became very dear to everyone because of his exalted qualities and learning. He got the fortune of seeing Lord Chaitanya dancing during the Rath Yatra. After Dola Yatra, Sanatan traveled to Vrindavan by the very forest path Lord Chaitanya had traversed. जो पाथ चैतन्य महाप्रभु लिए थे पहले, सनातन गोस्वामी उसी पाथ से, उसी रास्ते से चैत महाप्रभु चलने लगते हैं. सनातन गोस्वामी चलने लगते हैं कहाँ के लिए? वृंदावन के लिए. He starts walking towards Vrindavan. He noted from Balabhadra Bhattacharya all the villages, rivers, and hills where Lord Chaitanya did his pastimes. Why? Because Balabhadra Bhattacharya was the servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when Mahaprabhu went to Vrindavan. After all the tricking that Nityananda Prabhu did, finally Mahaprabhu goes to Vrindavan. Mahaprabhu goes to Vrindavan on in the month of Kartik, and that too on the last day of Kartik, that is Kartik Purnima. कार्तिक का जो आखिरी दिन होता है, that's when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered the land of Sri Vrindavan. And that instance is where he goes to Radha Kund in search of Radha Kund, and he asks the villagers, where is Radha Kund? And the villagers are clueless. They have not heard anything Radha Kund and Sham Kund. Imagine you go to Vrindavan and no one knows where is Radha Kund. No one knows where is Sham Kund. It sounds very funny. Kya Radha Kund nahi pata. That was the state 500 years back. The locals didn't know what is Radha Kund, where is Radha Kund, where is Sham Kund, what is Sham Kund. And then Mahaprabhu with Gori Khet and Kali Khet, as we have discussed earlier, Mahaprabhu um, establishes the presence of Radha Kund and Sham Kund. And then it was Srila Raghunath Das Goswami who renovates the whole place of Radha Kund and Sham Kund. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Vrindavan for the first time, it was in the month of Kartik on the last day, Kartik Purnima, and Balabhadra Bhattacharya was his servant. So every day in the morning, people would come to Balabhadra Bhattacharya to request him that no, we want to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Like for example, if you have your Gurudev, if you're initiated, so then and if you want to meet Gurudev, then you will reach out to his servant that can we meet? Is this a good time? Or what is the time we can meet? Can you tell him I'm here? I've come all the way. हमें मिलना है 5 minutes, not more, or whatever. So you go through the servant. That's the way of approaching your Gurudev. So Balabhadra Bhattacharya was a servant, and everyone would come to Balabhadra Bhattacharya. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would go to take a bath in Yamuna or Radhakund, etc., different personalities would come to Balabhadra Bhattacharya and tell him that हमें महाप्रभु से मिलना है, please make our appointment. So Balabhadra Bhattacharya would at one point got frustrated. Every day, so many people are coming and now they keep telling me the same thing. So he got frustrated. So he went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and said, "My dear Lord, प्रातः काले ऐसा लोक तुम्हारा न पाए, तुम्हारा न पाए, प्रभु मोरा माथा खाए." Every day in the morning they come in search of you, but when they don't find you, mora mata khai, they start eating my head. Pratakali in the morning, tumara na pae, tumara na pae, Prabhu mora mata khai. They start eating my head. Please give them darshan or let's leave Vrindavan. Every day in the morning, you are not giving them darshan. They're eating my head and they are feeling that I am the barrier between they and you. So, my dear Lord, you gave a solution to this. So, Chaitanya Charitamrita verses are also very sweet, very um, relatable, and sometimes very transcendently funny, but very sweet. So, Sanatan Goswami, through Balabhadra Bhattacharya, understands the pathway that Mahaprabhu took, the rivers where he stopped, the hills where he stopped, so on and so forth. As soon as he visited such a place, he became ecstatic. Thus, he reached Sri Vrindavan Dham. Sri Vrindavan Dham ki jai. The brothers Rupa and Sanatan Goswamis stayed in Vrindavan to execute the will of Lord Chaitanya. They collected many scriptures and from their evidence excavated all the lost sites of pilgrimage. Thus, they established temples for the worship of Krishna. The Vrindavan that we have today is purely by the mercy of Rupa and Sanatan. Because Srila Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami came to Vrindavan. They were the pioneers of preaching because otherwise, traditionally, all the sadhus were all bhajananandis. They would all sit at one place and do bhajan. It is Rupa and Sanatan who extensively preached, who wrote books, built temples, excavated lost places, so that everyone who's going to Vrindavan now can be benefited. Even now in Vrindavan, we find traditionally everyone is a Bhajananandi. It was our Prabhupada who broke all barriers hmm, to preach this message of Lord Chaitanya. And now we find this tradition has gone in all places where even other sampradayas and other movements are taking inspiration from our Prabhupada to preach as much as possible. Mm. So Srila Prabhupada would say this preaching mission and the books are my life and soul. Our mission is the preaching mission. We we preach, but not just we preach, we also practice. Our job doesn't just end with preaching, but we also practice. But the more we give the message of Krishna to others, the more devotees we'll have. The more devotees we'll have, the more this Krishna conscious movement will spread. And the more it spreads, ISKCON will be there in every nook and corner of this world, which is already there. ISKCON is already there in every corner. Whichever place you take, um, it's there everywhere. Even in the most remotest places, Srila Prabhupada's presence is there. But still, there is more scope for preaching. There are countries where ISKCON is there, and then there are some villages, probably, maybe rural villages, where ISKCON is not there. So, if we preach, um, it's very well possible that Krishna may empower us to make devotees in the place where we are, or make a temple in our village, or whatever it is. So, this is our mission as um, outlined by Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. Even when they went to Vrindavan, they were extensively involved in building temples, in writing books, in establishing Vaishnava dealings, and so many others. तो ऐसे ही बैठे नहीं थे कुछ ना कुछ कार्य लगातार करते ही रहते थे they were constantly working. They collected many scriptures and from their evidence excavated all the lost sites of pilgrimage. Thus, they established temples for the worship of Krishna. Srila Sanatan Goswami wrote books including Brihad Bhagavatamrit. Hmm? Brihad Bhagavatamrit. What is Brihad Bhagavatamrit? So, um, when Srila Shukadev Goswami spoke the Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj for 7 days.
Prabhuji, Brihad Bhagavatamrit means big Bhagavatam.
Yes, big Bhagavatam. Good, very good. Thank you, Shrivats. Our Shrivats is uh, very enthusiastic, and from the time we have had our book reading, Shrivats has always been there. Last 3.5 4 years. So, Brihad Bhagavatamrit is a book by Sripad Sanatan Goswami. Um, Basically, when Shukadev Goswami spoke the Srimad Bhagavatam for 7 days, and after 7 days, after Parikshit Maharaj heard it, Srila Sukadev Goswami's job was done after 18,000 verses. So he left. Now, in the time that Bhagavatam was over and the Takshak bird came to um, kill Parikshit Maharaj, to take away his life here, there was little time that was there. So at that time, Parikshit Maharaj goes to his mother. Who's the mother? Uttara. He goes to his mother Uttara. And at that time, the mother Uttara, she says that you heard Bhagavatam. I was in there. You heard the Srimad Bhagavatam. So can you, in essence, tell me what is the whole मैसेज ऑफ द श्रीमद् भागवतम सार में बताइए क्योंकि समय तो नहीं है थोड़ा कुछ समय है तो आप हमें सार में बताइए संक्षिप्त में बताइए कि भागवतम जो शुकदेव गोस्वामी के श्रीमुख से आपने श्रवण किया था उसका सार क्या है सो इन दैट लिमिटेड टाइम दैट परीक्षित महाराज had he gave a very crystal clear essence of what he had heard from Shukadev Goswami. He gave that essence to his mother, that is Uttara. That is nothing but Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Brihad Bhagavatamrit, in essence, is nothing but what Parikshit Maharaj told his mother Uttara in the time frame that Shukadev Goswami finished Bhagavatam and the Takshak bird came to devour him. And Sanatan Goswami expands on that on multiple levels. And of course, in Brihad Bhagavatamrit, you also have a celebrated personality by the name Gopakumar. Gopakumar is a personality for those who have studied Brihad Bhagavatamrit or heard Brihad Bhagavatamrit. You would have heard this name Gopakumar. Gopakumar is such a personality who was not very much interested in bhakti as such. And then finally, it's a long story. I wouldn't get into the details. Gopakumar finally ends up meeting a divine personality who becomes his Gurudev. And that Gurudev gives him mantras. And those mantras are primarily the Gayatri mantras, but more importantly, they are the Gopal mantra. Hmm. Of course, those who are initiated, second initiated, you may know what the Gopal mantra is. Hmm. So he was given the Gopal mantra. And this Gopakumar, who did not have much interest, now slowly develops interest by being in association of his Gurudev. And his Gurudev gives him Gopal mantra. And by the power of Gopal mantra, Srila Sanatan Goswami explains just by chanting that Gopal mantra, Gopakumar, like a rocket, propels from this material world. He propels and goes all the way, he crosses all the upper planetary systems that are there. He crosses the planet of Brahma. He crosses the Viraja. He goes, he crosses even the place of Maryada Purushottam Ramachandra. What is the place of Ram in the spiritual world? It is Saket Dham. Just like for Krishna, it is Golok Dham. For Maryada Purushottam Ramachandra, it is Saket Dham. So Gopakumar crosses Saket Dham. He crosses uh, all these places. He crosses Shvetadvip, Navadvip. And then finally, he's standing in Golok Vrindavan. He's standing eye to eye, face to face, cheek to cheek in front of Krishna. And Krishna looks at him and says, Gopakumar, where were you? Why did you take so much time? I was waiting for you. And then Krishna tells Gopakumar, that guru who came in your life, I was that guru. I wanted you back to the spiritual world more than you wanted to come back, and but you were not much interested. So I came in your life as that guru to give you the Gopal mantra so that you can come back to me as soon as possible. And Krishna embraces him. So in many of the Brihad Bhagavatamrit photos, we find that is the cover page where Krishna is embracing Gopakumar. So Gopakumar goes back to the spiritual world with just one mantra, that is Gopal mantra. Hmm? So that is one section of the Brihad Bhagavatamrit, and second is what Parikshit Maharaj, in essence, tells to Mother Uttara. So Sanatan Goswami wrote books including Brihad Bhagavatamrit, Vaishnava Toshini, Hari Bhakti Vilas, Lila Stava, and so on. Srila Rup Goswami wrote Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Ujjvala Neelamani, Vidagdha Madhav and Lalit Madhav. Remember Vidagdha Madhav and Lalit Madhav? That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Rupa Goswami wanted to write one book, and then he gets a dream. He was there in Satyabhamapur and he gets a dream, and then he goes to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu also tells him, keep separate. Hmm? Don't mix Vrindavan pastimes with Dwarka, etc. So he writes two separate books. So Vidagdha Madhav, Lalit Madhav, and so on. Srila Jiva Goswami, the son of Anupam, also went to Vrindavan and wrote Shat Sandarbhas, Gopal Champu, etc. Being a great scholar, that's Jiva Goswami. Being a great scholar, he wrote 400,000 verses in all his books. 400,000. यानी 4 लाख श्लोक. शीला जीव गोस्वामी अपने पूरे जीवन में 4 लाख श्लोक लिखे. And all this when he was very young. Jiva Goswami was very young in comparison to Rupa and Sanatan. So how much these acharyas and these authors have written. And all of this literature is available. Uh, Prabhupada has made it very easy that it's available even on our phone. And they're all for free. Veda base and all these books are all free. But what do? We take our phone and then we end up scrolling and Facebook and so many others. So we find Veda base is something that Srila Prabhupada has given, which is completely free, no strings attached. Bhagavad Gita ho, Bhagavatam ho, Chaitanya Charitamrita ho, Prabhupada ke chote pustak ho, Science of Self-Realization, this, that, everything is completely free. So even if we have um, no book or we have a financial challenge where we cannot purchase a book, it's still there for free download. So all of these we find it was Rupa and Sanatan Goswami who started this tradition of writing books and building temples, etc. And Prabhupada being the perfect successor, he also wrote books, he also built temples, he also built Vaishnava Sadachar. And through Prabhupada disciples, we find they've excavated so many places and made them holy. Rupa and Sanatan Goswami, they excavated holy places. But Prabhupada's disciples have excavated places and made them holy. Like, for example, in Hungary, in a place called as Hungary, Srila Shivaram Maharaj has made New Vrajadham. It's a normal farm community, but usko pura Braj ki tarah bana diya, New Brajadham. Srila Prabhupada, who's the pioneer, he made New Vrindavan. In Mumbai, by His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, we have the Govardhan Eco Village, which is again Vrindavan. So Prabhupada took this tradition from Rupa and Sanatan Goswami of uh, building holy places. And Prabhupada's disciples have also taken that mood. And in Hungary and in GEV and so many other places, we find Sri Vrindavan Dham is recreated. So there is no end to how much we can preach. Every devotee has a scope where they can preach and they can inspire others. Janma sartaka kari, kara par upakar. We do good to ourselves and we also preach this message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu following the mood of Srila Prabhupada and the six Goswamis led by Rupa and Sanatan Goswami. Having said this, we stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Gaura Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.